seem, with all due respect, relieved, especially after the last few weeks? I mean, maybe it's just winning a football game, but can you give us a sense?
It's been a long time since we won a game.
Yeah.
You know, that Colorado game was tough on us. I mean, that was tough on our organization. That was, I think, Mark, you may have asked a question the other day about the season, and I knew we had a real good chance in that Colorado game to go up there, and we blew a game there. We could have had a good opportunity to win, and boy, that took a lot. It took a lot out of the coaches and the kids, and just I'm sure our fan base. But I was really impressed with how the people kept fighting back, and I wouldn't call it relieved. I'm happy to win a game. It's hard to win these games, and I don't really see the same kind of life and death in football and in sport that some people assign to it. I don't see it that way. We're educators, so let's act like it. And so we try to teach the lessons, and these kids will learn from these experiences and do great things. And that's really what our objective has been since we arrived here, and that's where we're going to maintain it.
Ron, in the final analysis, how difficult was it succeeding a legend?
Well, I think the reality is that in our situation, Kansas State always has to have everybody on board rowing the boat in the same direction. There's not the same margin for error or to be inefficient as, let's say, some of the larger organizations in college sports. If you understand from a budget standpoint, fan base standpoint, stadium side, all those things. Everybody has to be rowing the boat in the same direction. And I think we got the boat going in the same direction that Coach had it, but just from all the little small things that we had to do, consumer confidence, the street, we had some nice wins at nice times, but really, if you can't beat your rival consistently, if you can't put the team in the postseason consistently, it makes it very tough to be successful at Kansas State, because there's so much riding on postseason and being consistently in the postseason and then building your team over time. And I think that's just the reality of the last 5 years. I think that we've got it going in a certain direction, but I think there are some things that need to be looked at and some things that need to be improved.
More just, Ron, you said Iowa State might be a year away. Do you feel the same about Kansas State?
I do. There came a point in there where we lost some really good players to different circumstances. Chris Patterson and Gary Chandler and a number of other defenders, and it was clear to me that when I think one game 3 out of our top 5 tacklers were freshmen, and it was pretty clear to me at one point in the season that we were probably playing this year with next year's defense for sure, and that made it tough, because we really wanted to win and win now for these seniors. We've never really believed that you should come in and blow the thing apart and start from scratch and go 0 for or 2 for 10 or anything like that. We were trying to incrementally get the team better while keeping it in the postseason, and we just weren't able to do that. And that was the loss of Colorado. I really think was a tough one, just like last year, the loss of Oklahoma State. Really hard-fought game. We just came up short, and everybody gave it their very best effort, but it just didn't work out. So. I do think the Kansas State's got a chance to be very successful. And we leave here with our heads very high with what we've done and accomplished, the kind of coaches who've been able to go on and accomplish their dreams, guys who've been able to play and move on to the NFL, graduate. A lot of really positive things here, and I feel really good about it.
What do you think you could have done given more time?
Say it again?
What do you think you could have done given more time?
I don't know, BKU a couple times, maybe that would help. Do some things like that, beat Oklahoma and Texas Tech. I think the Colorado game and some of the other games, we gave up a lot of points, this year, and that's tough. This is a really good league, It's one of the things I told Gene. I see improvement in his team, but this is just a really hard league to try to get better in. And I think the reality, just look at the standings. The teams that are at the top are the teams that have had their coach in place the longest. And I think that the reality is that it's real easy to second guess and look back, but. The reality is when you have churn and you're turning over head coaches, it's very hard to build it in a league like this, and that's just the truth. I mean, Mike's done a great job at Tech, Mac's done a great job, Bob's doing a great job, but so's Gary and Mark, and those guys have been there for a while, and they're building it and they're doing it, and that's part of the key to this.
Right,
Thank you guys.